video clip will demonstrate how to create an entry on behalf of a trust in the Register of Persons Holding a Controlled Interest in Land, otherwise known as RCI, and what information will be required for a submission. We will run through an example scenario and then we will begin our submission over 4 short videos. This is part 1. Please make sure you view them in order to support your submission process. This series for Create an Entry does not include those affected by Regulation 23A. We have a video available with more information on that within our knowledge base. We'll be using an example of a trust throughout the 4 videos, which I will talk you through now. Please note that the information and characters used for this example are purely fictitious. Whilst the addresses used are real, they have no known connection to RCI. Here we have the Bloomfield Trust. Nima Adinga and Charlie Jones are current trustees. They are both named as owners on the land register. There is also an additional trustee, Ray Simpson. Ray is not named on the land register, but he has equal rights to Nima and Charlie. For the purposes of RCI, in this demonstration, Ray is an associate. Nima and Charlie would be the recorded persons and would both need to register in RCI and each name Ray as their associate. For our example, we will be making a submission for Charlie Jones as the recorded person. However, please note that Nima would also have to make their own individual submission as they are also current trustees who are named on the title sheet. It is expected that you will gather all the information you will need to submit before you start, but if you need to check anything, you can save your draft at any point. We will use these details to help us create our entry. An account is required to log into RCI. Details of these are available on our guidance pages. There are 2 account types. Firstly, there is a public account. This will allow you to submit yourself and yourself only as a recorded person and add your associates. In addition to our public accounts, online services account holders can log in as a business account and could submit on behalf of multiple recorded persons. Today, Charlie Jones will need to create a public account as a user to make his submission. Once you've selected Create an Entry, you are prompted to sign in or create an account. You will need a valid email address and to create a password. A confirmation code will then be sent to your email address, which you'll enter here to validate your new public user account. You'll have to submit your password again. The conditions of use of service for access to the RCI are then outlined in detail. Once you are satisfied, you must accept the terms and conditions to continue. You are then prompted to confirm the reason you are creating an account. In our example for Charlie, it is because he is the recorded person. You'll then be asked for your name. Followed by your date of birth. You'll need to enter your date of birth here, but this information will not be visible on the register. It is purely for identification purposes. You can provide a postcode for Charlie and find the address. However, you do also have the option to enter the address manually, or you can follow the link to input an address that is outside of the UK. For our example, we know Charlie's postcode, so we can use that to find his address. and then you can confirm it. The next question you'll be asked if you have a recorded person reference number. You will only have a recorded person reference number if you or someone acting on your behalf has added you to the register before. For our example, this is Charlie's first entry as a recorded person, so he does not have a reference number, and we'll select No and then Continue. A recorded person reference number will be allocated to Charlie when he completes his account setup. You're then brought to a summary page displaying your account and recorded person details. Once you've reviewed the details and the declaration, if you wish to proceed to open an account, select Submit. You are now allocated a recorded person reference number and can add a property and associate to create an entry in the register. We will now click on Create an Entry to continue. You now arrive at the Before You Start page. This details the information required when making your submission. There are 4 main sections of information required to make an entry in RCI. This includes details relating to the recorded person, the land, the ownership, and the associate. You are then able to expand each of those sections to find out the specific information which is required for each. You're also provided with important information. Here you are reminded of your responsibilities for all statements made within the application and reminded of the offences applicable for submitting false or misleading information. Finally, you are informed of what will happen after your entry is made. We will click on Start Now to begin our submission. Firstly, you are brought to a summary screen reminding of the information required for the recorded person details. We will now click Continue. You can provide a postcode for Charlie and find the address. However, you do also have the option to enter the address manually again or can follow the link to input an address that is outside of the UK. Please note that you can include a care of address or a non-residential address, including a PO box, as long as the recorded person can be contacted here. Again, for our example, we know Charlie's postcode, so we can use that to find his address. You're able to review the address, and if needed, you can add in additional details. For example, if the contact address is care of an organisation, you can add this. Now that we've input the details required for the recorded person, we're brought to a summary page where you can review the details and make changes if needed by following the relevant change link. We're happy with what information we've provided, so we'll hit Continue. You can now move on to part 2 of our video sequence, where we will show how to submit land details.